What do polycarbonate, high-density polyethylene, and polyethylene terephthalate all have in common? Well, for one, they're all found in plastic bottles like this one, but more importantly, they're all thermoplastic polymers, or plastic. Plastic bottles are made by extracting monomers from oil and gas, which can be mixed through a process called polycondensation to make a wide variety of plastic. In the manufacturing process, these plastics are made into small pellets and then melted into liquid form. This is then injected into molds where the plastic hardens and becomes what you see here. Plastic bottles are, as the name suggests, made entirely from plastic, from the cap to the label. But, as most of you know, plastic isn't just in bottles.
MSW, or municipal solid waste, is known to us as trash or garbage and consists of things that humans use every day and then throw away, such as product packaging, furniture, clothing, bottles, food scraps, appliances, paint, and batteries, and more. The crazy thing? Plastic is found in all of those categories. The containers and packaging category has the most plastic tonnage and was measured to have over 14.5 million tons of it in 2018. This includes bags, sacks, wraps, bottles, boxes, and more. Manufacturers also use plastic in durable goods, such as appliances, furniture, casings of lead-acid batteries, and other products. It doesn't stop there, though. Plastic is so ubiquitous that unlike other common materials, it is used beyond the world of solids. Despite being a leading material in solid production, plastic is also found in many important liquids. Epoxy, polyurethane, silicone, and polyester are all made from plastics, and these liquids are present in clothing, medicine, insulation, furnishings, and more. And just this building here, liquids containing plastic are used to seal the walls, protect the paint, lubricate the plumbing, and even install the windows. And that's just the liquid uses. Despite all of its common usage though, plastic can often show up where you least expect it. Chewing gum, glitter, sunscreen, Band-Aids, and even toy stuffing all contain levels of plastic. Today, the use of plastic seems entirely normal, and its mass implementation into the industrial realm has been routine for decades. But how did the use of plastic grow since its creation? Looking at all of its uses now, how did we get here?
The very first plastic polymer was created in 1869 by John Wesley Hyatt, and its intended purpose was for the production of billiard balls. Hyatt wanted to find a substitute for the ivory used at the time, as elephants were being illegally killed to sustain its demand. This polymer was only partly plastic though, and it wasn't until 1907 that the first fully synthetic plastic, invented by Leo Baekeland, was invented. Leo called it Bakelite, and it quickly saw use in electrical insulation, radio and telephone casings, kitchenware, jewelry, pipe stems, children's toys, and even firearms. With all of these uses though, plastic was still a relatively uncommon material, and it remained so until the Second World War. During the war, military researchers saw the true value of plastic and began using it in all sorts of ways. It was implemented into cables, planes, parachutes, ropes, helmet liners, body armor, and more. A new type of plastic, plexiglass, was even used as alternative to glass to make aircraft windows. After the war, plastic production boomed in the 1950s with the creation of polyester and high-density PE, and plastic became commonly known as the material of 1,000 uses. But even with this rise in demand, it was still relatively minute up until the 70s, when the amount of plastic produced annually tripled. By that point, because it was cheap and easy to manufacture, plastic began to replace the steel in cars, paper and glass packaging, and wood used to make furniture. Its usage continues to grow even now, marking it as one of humanity's most dominant materials.
Today we produce 380 million metric tons of plastic. That's more than the weight of humanity itself, 60 million tons more. It's a large number, but what exactly do we do with all that plastic? Well, looking back to the bottle, we actually use plastic for all these more than anything else in the world. Around 10% of all plastic produced annually goes to the production of bottles, meaning that every year, the world produced 580 billion of these things. That's a massive number, actually. If you were to stack that many bottles into a tower as big as ACU's campus, the tower would be taller than the Empire State Building. ACU as tall as the Empire State Building. Every year. Here's a bigger number though. When it comes to plastic bags, humans use 5 trillion of them every year. Also, in that year, we used 36 billion plastic utensils, 180 billion plastic straws, and 500 billion plastic cups.
It may seem like this waste provides great material to be recycled and repurposed later on in its life, but in reality, every single one of those products is single use. They're used just once and then sent to spend centuries in landfills like this one. Actually, 91% of all plastic we produce is single use. Look at it this way. The average time a plastic bag spends being used is only 15 minutes. But after it's used, it can take 1,000 years for it to decompose. Since plastic began infrastructural production in 1950, 8.3 billion metric tons of plastic has been produced, and half of that has been in the past 15 years. That doesn't look good for the planet. If we want to preserve our home and create a sustainable environment for generations to come, plastic management is a crucial component. We need to clean up the earth. But like many others, my classmates and I are left to wonder how.